blade, spine, tip, edge, handle, tang, pommel. Every fixed blade bushcraft survival knife has the exact same parts. So how do you know which knife to pick? In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 very best bushcraft survival knives. These are the knives that I carry, and at the end, I'm going to show you which one I would choose if I could only choose one. Several years ago, I had a big challenge ahead of me. A 45-day survival school instructor's course. It was a bucket list moment for me. And I knew my gear could mean the difference between success and failure. And one tool in particular had to be the best I could find. A fixed blade knife. It was going to be my lifeline. So I set out to find the best bushcraft and survival knife available. It had to be well made, durable, easy to sharpen in the field, and it had to have a reputation with top experts. That's really important to me. It had to be field tested and proven by people that knew what they were talking about. So I spent hours researching, reading, and watching videos. I narrowed it down to 3 knives. I took them with me and put them to the test every single day for more than a month. From making bow drill fire kits to carving figure 4 trap triggers to making my own bow and arrows. These are the 3 of the most exceptional bushcraft and survival knives available. Hey, I'm Matt, and I lead Christian men on wilderness adventure trips to epic places for refreshment and renewal. Check out my free download, The Best Camping Experience Gear Guide. This is your source for high-quality outdoor gear and clothing recommendations. All the gear that I've tested and that I take on every Revello adventure trip and recommend you put in your pack. The link is below. When your life depends on your knife, which one are you going to trust? And number 3, the Fallkniven A1x survival knife. Fallkniven was founded in 1984, and it's earned its place as one of Sweden's most trusted knife makers. It holds this rare distinction called a purveyor to the Royal Court of Sweden, which means of all the products that come out of Sweden, this is one of the best. These knives are built for survival in some of the hardest environments on earth. If the Swedish Air Force trusts Fallkniven, I'm pretty sure you can too. This knife is built for extremes. The convex edge offers incredible durability and batons wood almost effortlessly. I find feather sticking to be a bit more challenging with this one, but it's a good chopper for its size, and the spine works great for striking a ferro rod. All right, here are the quick specs. It's got a hardness of 60, the edge is convex, it's a full tang knife with a handle material made of thermoron. The weight is 13.4 ounces, the blade length is 6.25 inches, the blade thickness is 0.28 inches, the handle length is 4.75 inches, the overall length is 11 inches. This is a big fixed blade bushcraft survival knife. It's got a satin finish, and the MSRP is around $470, but I often find these on sale for just under $300. This thing takes a beating and keeps coming back for more. So if you adventure, especially in the rain and the snow, you're really going to appreciate the Fallkniven A1x. COS laminate steel, thermoron slab scales, and this Zytel sheath means that you can put your knife away wet and dirty and not worry about it in the slightest. The other thing that I like about this sheath is that it's got a nice little lock on it, which I find very handy because it doesn't slide around and it won't accidentally come out. Fallkniven A1x, the beater of bushcraft knives. All right, next up is the BarkRiver Bravo 1.5. BarkRiver Knives was born in BarkRiver, Michigan in 2001 in the barn of Mike and Leslie Stewart. This family-owned business strives to produce the finest cutting tools available on the market for use by outdoorsmen who need real performance in the field. This is an incredibly comfortable companion for bushcraft and general camp use. And the longer blade really excels at batoning. In fact, this is the best batoning knife that I own. It is my absolute favorite knife for batoning. My Bravo 1.5 is CPM 3V steel, which is known for its extreme toughness and resistance to chipping. The Bravo 1.5 is a great slicer for food prep, and it's pretty good at feather sticking. But what I like most about this knife is that it has the most comfortable handle of any knife that I own. No hot spots anywhere, even after long work sessions. And it also comes with a really nice heavy duty sheath. Although I've got to say, I dislike this strap because the placement on this strap is such that it's hard, you can tell, it's hard to get in and out of. And also when you open it, it's really easy to potentially cut the strap because the edge of the blade goes right over the strap. Not great. All right, let's take a glance at the specs of the BarkRiver Bravo 1.5. This is CPM 3V steel, and it has a hardness rating of 60 RC. It has a convex edge, it is full tang, and the handle material varies. The weight of this knife is 9.8 ounces. The blade length is 5.8 inches. The blade thickness is 0.217 inches. The handle length is 4.75 inches. And the overall length is 11 inches. This has a satin finish. The MSRP for the Bravo 1.5 is $410, although I often find this for between $290 and $320. The BarkRiver Bravo 1.5 is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful knife, and it feels great in the hands. I love the handle, the feel, and the balance of this knife. It can handle heaps of abuse, no problem at all. And that's really important because comfort and reliability are the hallmarks of a really good bushcraft survival knife. And the BarkRiver excels at both. This performs extremely well, so it's an excellent choice for an all-purpose bushcraft and survival knife. This is my second favorite knife in my collection. Heiser Peiser Dominicer Shish Boom Ba, the Bravo 1.5 by BarkRiver Knives. Hurrah! All right, coming in at number one, the LT Wright Genesis. This is a classic bushcraft survival knife. So a weird thing happens when you use a tool every day for survival. You kind of bond with it. And so by the end of the 45-day survival school instructor's course, the LT Wright Genesis wasn't just my favorite tool. It was like a trusted companion. It's almost like this knife became a part of me. After my survival course, I became curious about the man behind the knife. Who is this LT Wright? What kind of person creates something that's so good, so tough, so reliable, so helpful in every bushcraft and survival situation? So I stalked him online. I found a video of LT giving a tour of his workshop. And what stood out to me was that LT walked through each workstation, and he didn't just talk about the knives, he talked about his team. He introduced them. He explained the importance of their role in the knife making process, and then made several positive comments about their personality and their character. It wasn't just about the product, it was about the people. And this is one of the reasons why LT Wright knives are a cut above the rest. And now I really wanted to get to know him. So I looked up his number and called him, and we talked for an hour. LT shared his story, and then I shared mine. We discussed our faith. We swapped thoughts on leadership. And of course, we talked about our mutual passion for bushcraft and survival and knives. The Genesis batons extremely well. And because the tip is overbuilt, it can handle blows by a mallet really, really well. It's got a 1/8 inch thick Scandi blade that also acts as an excellent wedge, and it's easy to sharpen in the field. You can see the drop point blade can handle everything from carving to drilling to skinning. And the 90-degree spine produces a shower of 4th of July sparks with a fire steel. I don't own a single knife that produces anything close to the amount of sparks that the LT Wright Genesis throws off. The broomstick handle fits so well and prevents any kind of fatigue or hot spots during long tasks. And the thumb scallops on both sides really enhance the grip with a natural place for pinch holes. Not to mention all the pins that LT uses are classic. Everything on the Genesis is contoured, which is really, really helpful. The tang doesn't protrude, but the contouring is so aggressive that you can use the pommel, the butt of the knife, as a mallet for hammering wooden pegs or even tent stakes into the ground. The LT Wright Genesis comes with a premium American-made leather dangler sheath with a slot for a 3/8 of an inch fire steel. And this sheath is made by Spin at JRE Leather. All right, now for some quick specs. The edge of the LT Wright Genesis is a high polished Scandi. It's ground to 0 degrees and then hard micro buffed to a fine edge. The hardness is between 57 and 59 HRC. This is a full tang knife. The handle material, of course, varies. This one is in a micarta. The weight of the Genesis is 13.4 ounces. The length is 4.25 inches. The blade thickness is 1/8 of an inch, and the handle length is 4.75 inches, making the overall length 9 inches. The MSRP for the LT Wright Genesis is $245. It is well worth it. The Scandinavian grind is my favorite edge. It's easy to sharpen, it's excellent for precise woodwork, and it's really ideal for beginners and experts alike. A knifeless man is a lifeless man. A good knife is the foundation of wilderness survival. From kitchen chores to bushcraft tasks, everything else depends on it. You need a high quality bushcraft survival knife that's durable, dependable, sharp, and a general practitioner for every kind of bushcraft and survival task that you might need to do. And that's why the LT Wright Genesis is my #1 recommendation. This is the absolute best bushcraft survival knife that you can buy. Okay, now for the rest of the story. Last fall, I got to meet LT face to face. He even remembered me. And that moment reminded me of something I want to share with you. I am so thankful for LT and leaders like him, like you, who make a positive difference every day in the lives of those you lead. Just being who God created and redeemed you to be and doing what God put you on this earth to do. So pick up the knife that works for you, but above all else, be you. You are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for you to do. I love the LT Wright Genesis so much that I had LT Wright custom make a Revello LT Wright Genesis. I freaking love this knife. This is an LT Wright Genesis with CPM 3V steel. It has a Richlight, Blue Canyon, and Maple Valley handle layered with orange liners and a matte finish and really epic mosaic pins. The best knife is the knife you have when you need it most. So which knife are you going to choose? All 3 of these bushcraft survival knives are amazing. You would be happy with any of these. I am. But if you're going to pick the very best, if you had to pick just one, if my house was on fire and I could only run inside and grab one of these knives, I would grab the LT Wright Genesis. Bushcraft, boom. The bad boy of bushcraft. If this knife could speak, it would say, "Who's your daddy?" Meanwhile, I'd love to invite you on a Revello adventure trip. Check out the link below and take a look at one of these next 2 videos. And before you go, please like and subscribe to this channel and leave a comment and let me know what you think about any of these knives or your favorite bushcraft survival knife.